Hey, fellow Ristopians, welcome to Ristopia. I said I'd do a couple of, I've done two videos already. I've done a video and a short today. I had a couple more in the pipeline. I'll try and whiz through them. This one was basically, I don't know, I've got a thing about lug width, stuff from the lug. You know, the whole bracelet lug thing is very important to me in watches. I just thought I'd get these two out. Let's take my glasses off. I've got a glove on because it's actually in the wrong hand. I've got a glove on because the last one I did, they were all a bit fingerprinty. Yeah, so we got the Erebus Origin, the original one, the 40mm, the original Origin, the 40mm with 20mm lug width. And then we've got the Pelagos 39 with 21mm lug width, if you can see those. I mean, the Pelagos looks significantly smaller. Apparently, I measured the Erebus just now. It is 40mm from sort of there to there. But, I mean, look how different they look in size. They look significantly different, which only goes to prove the point I'm about to make more. It's a lovely watch, the Pelagos 39. It's obviously titanium. I mean, the Erebus is one of the watches that it homages is the Pelagos. Not particularly the 39, but more so the original 41. But they're all the Pelagos are titanium, so that's going to be a big point of difference. But yeah, just looking at these two, I just find it quite funny that although this is a smaller watch, it has a bigger lug width. And when it came out, people didn't mention, for months, people didn't mention that it was 21mm. It was Tudor's first 21mm lug width watch, I think ever, but definitely in modern times. They have quite a few of them now. They're basically, you know, the same as Rolex do, Grand Seiko do, Longines do. You know, all the top brands will have a 21. They utilise 21mm. But, you know, I just wanted to point out how everyone said this was a gorgeous looking watch. Reading between the lines, one of the things they meant was it was a lovely proportioned watch, which I think is one of the best. Let me just pop it on. But yeah, I think it's still got stickers on. I don't know if it's been sized for me or whether it was just that size already. I'm not sure. I don't think I've taken any links out of it. But yeah, let's try and get that glare off, get it straight. I mean, the proportions to me are really good. I mean, I don't know. It could, having a bigger lug width means it can have a decent taper to a decent sized clasp. But I think that's pretty much spot on. I think those proportions, which are different to dimensions, don't get the two things confused, are pretty much spot on. And if you look at, I mean, I don't know why I popped it on really, because it's a little bit too small for my wrist, which is why I never wear it. One of the reasons I never wear it. But when you compare these two, I think it's just quite funny how different they are in terms. I mean, the bigger watch should have the bigger lug width, and what you've got, I think you've got perfect lug, you know, or near perfect lug length, lug width, and the actual width of the lugs themselves. So each individual lug's width. If you look at the Erebus, I mean, the lugs are really, really wide. And the problem with it is it's got that whole maxi case, that whole Rolex maxi case look about it, which is the big problem with micro brands for me. Unless they're 38mm, 20mm lug width, then they look okay, but the watch is too small for me. So as soon as I try to get one that's the right size case for me, the lug width is too small. Unless, you know, some of them might be 20, they're not even 22. I mean, they just don't do, micro brands are unable to do the correct proportions or better looking proportions that, you know, Swiss brands, Grand Seiko, more expensive brands are able to do. And if you look at this, apart from the fact it buggers the taper up because you've not got as much taper there, because you're starting at 20 and you're going down to whatever you want to go down to. But the bigger you start, I mean, this is probably more dramatic. The bigger you start, this is quite a dramatic taper actually, but the bigger you start, the bigger you can be at the end. I don't want to bang these two together, but you know, the Pelagos 39 has a narrower clasp. I mean, you know, I would personally say start at, I think the head being 21mm lug width looks great on a 39. This actually kind of wears more like a 40 apparently, but then when you put it next to an actual 40, you know, really, does it? I mean, they look so different. There's reasons for that. You know, Jodie's got a lot of dial area with a very thin track. Well, not very thin, but a thinner track to the bezel. A thinner bezel track. Whereas the... and he's kind of pushed the indices right out. Well, not really right out to the edge, but whereas, you know, we've got a much bigger bezel track for its size on the Tudor. But I don't want to get too bogged down in that. But basically, this is a very maxi case looking watch, which means it has, you know, these lugs are quite wide. Obviously, it could be thinner, but that means coming in more from the case. Personally, there's more than enough room there to take 0.5 mil off each side of those lugs internally and put a 21mm bracelet on. And then you'd get more taper. You could even go down to the same size clasp. You'd have more taper. And as I've said in a previous video, it's only the non-removable links that can be tapered anyway. These are all parallel. So that would be a massive improvement. I mean, it would just be a much, much nicer watch. In my opinion, I think you're going to get naysayers that say, you know, it doesn't matter. That people are going to say, well, it's a few £100. You know, it doesn't matter to me, and they're going to just be very negative about any way that it can be better because that's what people are like. They will just, you know, if it suits them, big fish, small pond, and all that. But yeah, this would be a much, much better looking watch. If it had a 21mm lug width, it would look more like the fantastic looking and proportioned Pelagos 39. Well, yeah, I hope. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I mean, you're not really. Are you putting a strap on either of these two? I mean, they're braceleted watches. Why would you even think about taking the bracelet off? But yeah, that seems to be the big argument for 20mm lug width. But yeah, I just wanted to show you these two next to each other because it really just, well, it either proves my point, but or you disagree with the point. I mean, it's one or the other. Yeah, this just looks like a maxi cased old style Rolex, which I don't think people generally like the maxi case on the Rolex. I think the GMT Master 2 still got it. Hopefully that will change at Watches and Wonders this year, and they'll increase it to 41. Put a 21mm bracelet on, lug width bracelet, or one or the other, or both. I don't know. But yeah, there are ways of not having those. To me, they look like. Do you remember Dynasty? You know, where Joan Collins and the other lady had big shoulder pads on. That's what that looks like. There's just too much of a shoulder there. I mean, these lugs could be slimmed out. It doesn't have to be that shoulder there just because of the lug width, but then you're messing something else up. The answer is, you know, to keep them as they are, take 0.5 mil internally off and put a 20mm bracelet on. It's an obvious thing that makes this watch look better in many ways. But what it is, you know, Jodie and Stevie had cost restrictions on that. The whole thing about the hatred of 21mm lug width that people just spout for no reason whatsoever. But, you know, people that people that probably aren't even buying the watch, and even if they do buy it, they're not going to put a 20mm strap on it. They're just going to wear it on the bracelet, but they're still going to say, oh no, it's 21mm. So we got this whole hatred of 21mm that's just rife, and it's a shame really, because that will stop a lot of even if Jodie could put a 21mm on this, he wouldn't do it because he knows all the backlash he's going to get. I think realistically he can't do it because of the the costs. So unfortunately, he just had to whack a 20mm on there, but it doesn't look as good, anywhere near as good as it would look if it had a 21, as in the Pelagos 39, which was universally praised as being a really stunning looking watch. But that's why this looks so good. But for now, until the next video, which I might do right now, one wrist, live it.